I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed, just like the woman on the other mic. I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Anna Vocino. Yeah. Yeah.
Happy Monday.
And if I sound like a little,
you sound a little hoarse. You sound a little hoarse. What's going on?
I'm a little weak. We are.
Do we think it's like chemo week? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm still, folks. We're piling up shows here, and I'm going in for chemo for 4 hours every day.
Yep.
I don't know why they said, "Oh yeah, it's a 2-hour infusion every day." No, the infusion takes the better part of 3.5 hours. Right. So by the time they do labs and everything else, it's 4.5 hours every day of my life. But okay, maybe I get to live for a few more years.
Right. That's what we're hoping, Vin.
Yeah. So I just had another one. And it's funny, every day they ask me to, I have them I have the thing on my arm yesterday on this arm.
They alternate the arms.
Yeah. They go, "Hey, you want us to just leave the infusion port?" It's like, no, that's how Gina Grad's dad
that's how
died.
you get infected.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to sweat, because I'm going to try to work out in the morning and I'm going to take a shower and everything. I don't want that line in me.
Right.
The last time in the old school way, they put a PICC line in me, they sent it right down into my chest. But that's why my voice is a little weak. I've been doing this for several days and I'm not sleeping well at night and all that good stuff. So that's what's going on here. And on top of it, I sit around and worry about when vitamin D is going to show up in my warehouse, right? And everything else that goes with that. And by the way, by the time this show comes out, we will have vitamin D because it's supposed to be in tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll be running out again soon because we put another big order in. I said, "When's that order going to be?" And they're like, "I don't know. We'll let you know." So it's crazy.
I wish that you didn't have to worry about vitamin D. I wish that I could take that worry away from you.
And by the way, I need vitamin D more than anyone else. And I don't even have my own vitamin D. And Chris said, "Hey, it's in, would you like us to send you?" I was like, "No, I want every single unit to go out to a customer. I'll go buy someone else's brand. I'll use an off brand. I want every one of mine going out to customers. Because it's customer first with me. And I'm really trying to get ahead of that. Didn't mean to bring you guys down at the beginning of the show, but there you have it.
This is reality.
Brought you right.
This is where we are. If you've been a long time listener of this show, you've been here for the ups and downs.
And I just saw where my friend, my friend Nina Teicholz put a thing on Instagram, not on Instagram, on X. And it was an article from the New York Times that said, "Hey, women aren't carnivores. It's basically just men." You see, it's that bullshit New York Times. It's only men doing carnivore.
Oh, I know really women
feel like I know more. Yeah, I think I know more women who are carnivore than men.
And dare I say it? Is it because a lot of women deal with food allergy and intolerance issues?
I have no idea. But when I read that, I was like, "Wait, is that a joke?" Anna, go look up Nina Teicholz and X. See if you can pull up the article. I know this is last minute. We're producing on the fly here, but I didn't even read the article, but I did put an Instagram post out just now. I just rushed one out to go, this is ridiculous because I never know, I know that they tried to turn diet and exercise into politics. And as you know, I don't play politics, but a while back, remember that thing that was going around where they said only people on the right work out? It's toxic masculinity or something. I read an article about that and I was like, wait, hang on.
I hate how they've tried to make fitness a political issue. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I go to gym. I see a lot of women in the gym and I see a lot of liberals and I know they're liberal because they drive up with cars with liberal stickers on them. I don't go around going, "Hey,
you
are
like
you
a
liberal?
Hey, you look like a conservative." Cool. All right. See you later.
I live in college town and the girls come in and they got the stickers on their car and the whole thing that, I'm not going to get into what stickers say, but we, when you see coexist stickers and this, that, and the whole thing, that's usually not a sticker you would see on a right winger's car, right? you see a rainbow sticker, that's not going to basically be on a right winger's car. You just, I'm sorry, you just, so to make that statement, and now to make this statement that it's only men who are carnivore. Yeah, okay, yeah. Sean Baker is this real masculine guy. He looks amazing. He's a carnivore. Ken Berry, carnivore. Yeah, I get it. But hell, woman the other day, she's almost completely carnivore. Susie DeMeester. You know, and we could go down.
I just 293 comments on this post, so I would imagine a lot of female carnivores, carnivettes. I don't know, carnivinas.
Is the article hooked? Because right when I was getting ready to open up that article and read it, they, you know, the thing started beeping, which means my chemo drip was done. They did the flush and they got me out of there so I could come do this podcast. So I didn't get to read it. So I know I have you doing something on the fly here, but do you have it?
I don't have the article. Oh, here it is. New York Times. Let me see. It probably won't let me look at it because I don't have a subscription. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we might have to get.
We need Davey Robinson to buy it because we obviously don't pay for our own newspaper subscriptions.
Yeah. And, you know,
we never even talked about the article that he paid for, too, about what to look out for on a biased documentary, which thank you, Davey. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to get to it, Davey. I've been a bit preoccupied, but that's an evergreen subject.
I do have listener questions, too. But yes, I do not have a New York Times subscription, but the title, it showed me the title and now it won't even show me the title. Jeez, brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Nina's got that Teicholz money, I guess, and she can just
the men who eat meat and only meat. Mm-hmm.
Is that the title?
But I can't see who's the author.
Read Nina's.
She just wrote, calling all women carnivores. Only men are carnivore? This New York Times journalist must not have looked too hard. Ladies, please leave a comment below along with the health ailments you've resolved. I'd be grateful. I am writing on this topic. And he tagged Keto Carnivore, Nutrition with Judy, Maria Emmerich, Georgia Eid, Valerie New Dawn, Lone Star Keto, Black Carnivore. And guys, please retweet to your followers. And then she tagged Anthony Chafee, Sean Baker, Paul Saladino, you know, the usual suspects, which to be fair, those usual suspects are all men.
I just put a thing out on my Instagram. Yeah, you want me to play it?
I want you to play it.
I'm trying. I think we all need to get together. We need to all, you know, bond and make all this stuff happen, right? So let's see here. I just put this out. Turn this up. No, that goes up. Okay, let's see here. Instagram. Friend Nina Teicholz found an article by a New York Times reporter where she said that all carnivores were men. She couldn't find any women. Well, I wonder what my friend Sean Baker would say about that, or Anthony Chafee, or Georgia Eid, or Ken Berry. Come on, folks. There are a lot of female carnivores out there, and if you're one, let's see it's down in the comments. All right. Stay motivated. So that, you know, hopefully we can get more people to. My thing is, you know, let's just all work. That's what I'm always telling these people. Let's just all work together. It's the only way we can help people, right? You know, let's not all be in different corners. So hopefully they will all collaborate on that and get it out to their people and see if we can find the 2 or 3 female carnivores out there because
you lone ladies, you know, you carnivettes, where are you?
People ask me all the time, do I eat a carnivore diet? No, I created NSNG. There's some vegetables in my world. I just cut out all sugars and grains, processed foods. And once we had the wonderful Miss Kate Shanahan come into our show, what, like 11 years ago, Anna? She showed up at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming back on the show like on the 27th or 28th. I'm recording. She has a new book, but she was the first one to come in and go, yeah, it's not just processed foods, but it's the seed oils. And I was like, wait,
That's
what?
Right.
She broke that on our show. No one really knew her before our show. You know, she was trying to break into the internet game. And
her and
we
her
got her
husband Luke.
in your garage.
That's right.
They came to the garage and wonderful people. And I want to say she's been on the show. I have done. I love her when people go, you ever hear of Kate Shanahan?
Literally, someone said to me the other day, have you ever heard of Kate Shanahan? I was like, yeah. I was supposed to narrate her audiobook and then I got too busy and she had to find somebody else. I'm pretty tight with Kate. But anyway, we just reconnected. We haven't been tight lately. I haven't talked to her in forever.
We've known her for 13 years, 12 years or something. And, you know, I get that all the time. People go, hey, man, who's the other one I get? Anthony Chaffee. You ever hear of Anthony Chaffee? Yeah. Yeah. Ken Berry. I think I was Ken Berry's first podcast, right? Like I brought him on my show, and no one knew who he was back then. You know, it's like Sean Baker came to the house. He was only doing carnivore for like 3 months at that point. He planned on doing it for a month. It was like in month number 3 or 4. You can go back and listen to that episode. He's like, yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but I'm doing it right now. I'm just seeing how it works and the whole thing. And that was probably in 2015, 14, 15.
And he came to the house in Woodland Hills?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he showed up at the house. A lot of people have knocked. One day I got a knock on the door. I knew they were coming. They called me about 15 minutes earlier. It was Ivor Cummins, and he had Dr. The doctor from low carb
Brett
Denver.
Oh yeah.
No, not Brett Shear. He's California. You see, all these doctors' names are in my head.
Yeah.
And this guy was in my first movie, and I'm tripping on his name right now. But of course, I'm a little tired. I haven't been sleeping much.
He's in the movie?
Doped up on. Yeah. Dr.
Jeffrey
Gerber.
That's so funny.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Ivor goes, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Can I drop by? And I gave him my address, and he came over, and he goes, this is Dr. Jeffrey Gerber. And then they went out to Malibu. That's awesome. We recorded some stuff together.
Ivor Cummins is a delight.
Yeah. And I know he gets a lot of political backlash because of stuff he was saying during COVID. But hey, folks, love it or hate it, he was right about almost everything he was talking about.
I just hate that it becomes political because not everybody wants to be political. There are some people who do, good for you. And there's some people who really don't. And nobody wants to be painted with a broad brush who doesn't want to be political. Like sometimes people just want to cut out processed foods and not be accused of having some sort of ideology that's not even theirs. I don't like it.
And this is anecdotal, but the woman who we just bought our new puppy from in Georgia, we've been talking to that woman for weeks and weeks. She's an older woman, not that much older, maybe 68, 70, a little older than us. And her husband died. And, recently we said, oh, how did he die? She goes, COVID. And she volunteered this information. She goes, he had the 2 shots and 2 extra boosters, died of COVID. So, people who go take the shot, you're not going to die, all this stuff. It's like, no, nothing's an absolute. I'm going through it right now. I walk into a cancer center every day, and I still have another week of walking through a cancer center and watching people there. Some people look like they just walked off the street to get their first treatment. Other people, they got the babushka around their head because, women with the no hair and the no eyebrows and the whole thing. Yeah. And it depresses the ever-living fuck out of me when I see young people. Like I saw a kid like, Lucy or Tallulah's age, somewhere in that age group, walking into the clinic. And I'm like sitting there going, please tell me you come and visit someone. No, she was checking in.
I hate that.
Checking right in front. And, I'm like, man, and look, I always tell people, you want to see where things are, go to a children's hospital. Just go to, if you think life is tough, you gotta just go to a children's hospital. Completely different perspective. I remember when Tallulah was a kid, she was acting like a brat one day, right? And we were down in San Diego, and all my friends are going to I want to go. And we had just had a wonderful day on the whole thing, and she just wouldn't stop. She was a young kid at the time. She was like 11 or 12 when, kids can be bratty. And I said, Serena, find me a children's hospital right now. I'm driving straight there right now. I wasn't kidding. I said, I pulled over. I said, find a children's hospital. Get on your phone, find a children's hospital, because I need to let this kid know how unfair life really is.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, she straightened up right away.
I've heard,
but
that the thing that helps if you have cancer is if you post more Trixie content. That's what I've heard from many doctors. But I've heard that you'll help people with everything that's wrong in their lives if you post Trixie content. That's the rumor in the medical community.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
I will put up more Trixie content.
That's all I've ever asked of you.
Yeah. Love that little dog. She's getting along great with Bonzo. Bonzo. Yeah, Bonzo needed a friend ever since Stella died. Bonzo's been a little weird.
He needs a friend,
and now he's back. He's back. And we knew it because we would always get the neighbors' dogs. We go, hey, you guys all go to work outside of the house.
Yeah.
Can we have your dog come over for the whole day? And
Right.
you guys are super nice. It's like,
Bonzo
no,
from
you're
going
doing
nuts.
us a favor. Yeah. My dog needs a playmate. So, we do a lot of house sitting other people's dogs, and not anymore because now we got a permanent house guest. But once all the
I was going to
parvo
say, how
shots are
long does
done
it
and
take
everything,
before
the
you can
dogs are going to come.
socialize
I love other
Trixie
people's
with
dogs.
others? Okay.
I think the last shots were had
You and
today, but I have
Trixie,
to
not
ask
allowed to
Serena
go out
because
there in
I
the world.
literally got out. Right. But as you know, I literally had them pull the needle out of my arm and ran back home
Yes.
and sat down, and here we are.
I was going to ask you
know,
earlier, you're talking about the port in the
That's
arm.
how that
Is it like just a regular like thing when the phlebotomist puts in a thing in your vein, or how does that work? Like, what's the process with getting it?
Yeah. It's like they do the thing where they stick it into a vein,
Right.
and then they
Okay.
leave the soft thing in there, and then they tape the thing around you, and the drip goes in. They spend about a half an hour. No, it takes about an hour, and they pump me up with fluids. That's why I'm going to probably have to pee.
Right.
I'm using the
Good.
Villa Capelli ad strategically again because they put me up with a gallon of that. Plus, I'm drinking a lot of water on top of that, and then I have a coffee with me. I've been bringing my own coffee in with me, the iced coffee, and so I have all of
Good.
that in me. I just keep pumping fluids the entire time, water, coffee. And then they put the drug in.
Can you
goes
get up
in
to
for
take a
2
pee break,
hours.
or do you have to roll it with you to go to the bathroom?
Yeah. You got to call them.
Okay.
They have to unplug it from the
that's what I
wall,
thought.
and you have to roll the thing with you to the bathroom. So yeah, but the heavy peeing doesn't seem to happen until I get home, and I'll be peeing all night.
Well,
tonight.
that's going to disrupt
And,
your sleep too.
all in all, I'm doing fine. I had some disruptive sleep last night.
Yeah.
Just
Are you
not
feeling
feeling well
nausea?
and what
Like,
have you.
how do you feel?
I'm trying to, just kind of punky.
Okay.
Not as bad
Good.
as last time because I'm stronger this time than last time. As I said on a subsequent podcast, I was down to like 150 pounds last time. I feel like I'm looking at myself in the camera. I feel like I look unhealthy.
I don't think you look
but
unhealthy
not so
at all. I
bad.
think you look
Not
like
like
yourself.
last time.
If that makes you feel any better. Yeah, you don't look
That
like you're
makes me
going
feel
through
really good.
cancer.
The
Last time.
think of Tom Hanks
Yeah.
in Philadelphia. That's what I looked like last time. Yeah, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. It just fucked me up. It's like that's me.
So did you
I was
wind
like
up doing an
44
exercise this morning, or
something,
you
maybe
chilled a little
45.
bit this morning?
No, I got up
Okay.
and exercised. I'm trying to keep normalcy. So I did aerobics again today, and I'm going to try to do it if I'm feeling well in the morning. Speaking of carnivore, Serena's going
Great.
to have a big steak for me as soon as I'm done
Meat.
here
I agree.
because meat heals, Anna. Meat
I
heals.
agree.
So
Good.
I'm going to have a big pound steak, and I have a bunch of yogurt. I find the yogurt in the kefir is helping whenever, because there's so much acidic
Yeah.
and so many
Something to calm
drugs
your
I'm
tummy.
taking, man. It's, and I got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets acidy,
great.
and the kefir and the yogurt seems to be
You're
helping.
going to be a
probably
yogurvore.
tonight after my steak.
A yogurt steakivore.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer? You want me to do a Villa Capelli ad, and we answer some listener questions? That's how much pee
You might have to
in
do
the
a
chamber?
very long Villa
You're locked
Capelli
and
ad
loaded.
because- Yeah, I got to rock. And if you don't want to vamp through that ad too long, do an ad for
I can do for UltraFat.
either for you
15%, or is it still
for,
running? Even though this is airing May
UltraFat,
21st?
and then we can do yours at the end. Yeah, 15%. Yeah. I'm going to leave it up. I'm calling this my chemo discount.
Great.
I'm going to keep it up as long as I'm healing from chemo. And they told me
they won't take it down
so, yeah,
yet.
keep it
Okay,
going.
so what Vinny's referring to is NSNGfoods.com has, if you're new to this podcast, if you don't know, Vinny has this business with these nut butters that have coconut oil and his ultra salt electrolytes in it. And one flavor is vanilla, and one vanilla coconut, and one flavor is coffee. I'm addicted to them. I eat at least one a day. I try to keep it to one a day. And they sell them in a pack of 10 per flavor. I always strongly recommend that you get multiples of those packs, because what happens is that if you live with people in your house, and sometimes this could just be you, if you live with people in your house, they could steal your nut butters. And when that happens, you're going to need to have extra nut butters. So right now he's running a discount, 15% off with the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. You'll get 15% off your nut butter. So order 5 packs of each flavor, get your 15% off. And I don't know what the shipping is, but it's very reasonable over there at nsngfoods.com, and make sure you grab that. The other thing is Villa Capelli olive oil. Villa Capelli is a longtime sponsor of this show. As you guys know, we talk about healthy fats, coconut oil being one of them, butter, full fat butter. We love olive oil. Olive oil is one of the best fats that you can eat. It is different than the saturated fats. It's a monounsaturated fat, and real first pressed, cold pressed, extra virgin olive oil is insanely good, and also is like filled with all the wonderful polyphenols, all the delightful things that are healthy about it. It's also a wonderful snack. Vinny likes to put his ultra salts in his. I just pour like regular Maldon flakes in mine and shoot my Villa Capelli. Again, there's a discount code, Vinnie, VINNIE. You will get 10% off your order each and every time at Villa Capelli. Vinny and I always say, get your cart size around 145, 150. Then when you use the 10% off, you will get free shipping. And it's all about the free shipping because it's so heavy and expensive to ship oils. Hi, Vin. I did both ads. I did.
Did you get both ads in? Okay. And look, people have been saying to me, because a lot of people buy, they'll buy 5 or 6 units of both flavors, so they'll get like 10 or 12 units.
Get 100. So get 5 of this flavor and 5 of that flavor, and then you have at least 100.
Yeah, and they're doing, a lot of people say, man, thanks for doing a discount because they're big fans of this. They use it every day in their diet.
I use it in my diet every day too. I love them.
I mean, I use it in my diet every day. So yeah, and it's a great thing to cross you over in between meals and everything else. And I didn't know if people would ever use it that way. And whenever I do these discounts, people say, man, thanks for doing that. I'm able to stock up and pick up a lot of it. And then, so that's why I said, I'm just going to.
That's really nice of you.
Chemo special.
I need to stock up as well. And listen, you and I both sell things that like you don't really think about it until it's out, and then you need to get it. So just make sure you guys are continually stocking up on stuff. Plus, it helps us to be able to stay in business when you guys are stocking up on things. So.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm in control of that supply chain because, I have a professional kitchen and we manufacture that ourselves. So we're able to stay on top of the nut butter, which is easy to get, and the coconut oil, which has never been part of the supply chain problem like everything else.
And being able to order it direct to consumer is huge.
To come by.
Debbie was kind enough to post something on her Facebook that showed she was using my barbecue dust on the steak, and it looked really good. And somebody wrote on there, can I get this in stores or do I have to order it online? And she's like, order it online. And I appreciate her posting that, first of all. Second of all, telling the people. But I know it's hard people don't necessarily want to order stuff online, even though we're used to Amazon, but grocery stuff is like harder to think about, like the nut butters and the dust and stuff. But I'm like, the grocery game, getting stuff into retail, I know that's not something you are doing, and it's not something that I'm necessarily successfully doing right now. So it's like being able to order stuff online is very important. Just want to say that. I found a good question that I'd like to start with, Vin, from Mitch. And keep in mind, guys, if you send me questions and I don't ask them until a year later, sorry, but that I get to it when I can get to it. But please do send me your questions because I do ask them on the air eventually, or I'll ask them in a Q&A in the VIP group. Okay, I like this one. Mitch asks, I lost 21 pounds in the first 2 months, and now I haven't lost any more. I still feel better, but need to lose 50 more. I've been NSNG for 128 days. I haven't counted carbs or anything. Do I need to? So I know obviously this is more than just a carb counting question. This is like what happens with the stall and stuff. So what would you like to say to Mitch first? Well, he says he lost 30 pounds or 20 pounds the first 2 months and then hasn't. And he's been doing it for 128 days, which is 4 months.
That means, usually when I get someone like Mitch on the phone,
he didn't tell me his stats. I don't know
because I can't
his
interview him
physicality,
here.
his age, his height, his weight, his starting weight, yada, yada. I don't know all that stuff.
Usually when people have 50 more pounds to lose and they've lost, significant weight in the first couple of months and it stops dry, when it stops dry for that long, the first thing I'll tell them is, look, at least you're not gaining weight again,
That's
which means you're doing some things right, but you're not doing enough right. At least you're not gaining, but there's still tweakage that needs to happen. Right. But you still have stuff, probably more than tweaking because, and this is common on the phone calls, right? I'll get the phone calls and people will say, then I'm doing everything. I was losing weight. Usually it's people with, real morbid obesity, like 200-300 pounds over. I've lost 150 pounds. I still have 100 to go, and I've stopped dry, and I'm doing everything right. And when I interview them, not everything is right. I tell the severe stories of the guy who's drinking wine around the clock. He was doing everything right except drinking wine around the clock. Or the person who does this, that, or the other thing. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I got Dirty Keto coming out of the movie, and it talked about that. People go,
it's allulose. I can have
bread,
that. It won't spike my blood sugar.
That's low carb. It says 6 net carbs. I'll still be under 20 carbs per day. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. That's why I'm putting out Dirty Keto, right? You have to stay on top of this stuff. No two ways about it, right? And I usually when I go through their schedule, and sometimes they're overeating fat. And sometimes they go, yeah, I'm feeling good. And look, there's nothing you can do with impunity, not even drink water, because you can kill yourself. Drink 3 gallons of water back to back to back. You're going to die of hyponatremia, right? Sorry, it's going to happen. You're going to wash out your blood. You're going to wash out all of your electrolytes and everything else. You can die from too much water. There is no thing you can do with impunity. Eating a higher fat diet keeps your insulin low and everything else, and you're well on your way. But then you have to start to tweak that a little bit. That becomes people's problem sometimes. I used to tell the story about that woman who was having, it turned out to be like 18 ounces of heavy cream every morning because she was putting it in her cup at home, and then she had a long drive, and, she would fill up a tumbler, half heavy cream, half coffee. We figured out she was drinking between 15 and 20 ounces of heavy cream every morning and couldn't understand why she wasn't losing any more weight. Well, your body is going to keep running on that energy and never get to its other energy. This does not mean you have to be in a calorie deficit. It's not what I'm talking about here. But you can't grossly overeat and expect to lose weight. So that could be a problem too. Since I don't have this guy here to interview, I can't really
anybody who's
tell you what the problem is, but those are all
saying,
clues.
oh, well, that's kind of me. Hopefully they can examine those things. So would you say that he needs to count his carbs? Yeah. I bet you would tell him that he wouldn't
because I don't, I don't know what he's doing. If I can talk to him, I can say, hey, you're doing A, B, C, and D wrong. Change these things or change the, usually it's not even A, B, C, and D, it's usually A and B. And it's always, they get into the stevia products and it's like, oh, but it says it was keto chocolate, and oh, it says it was keto bread, and I'm having this keto milkshake, and no. It's not going to work. And it's net carb this, net carb that. Because I know usually they're counting already and they're going, I'm staying under 20 net carbs per day, under 20 carbs per day. But then when they're playing the net carb game, they're way over that. Sometimes over 100 grams of carbs per day. I'm not kidding. When people start using keto pancakes, it's all out there. I'm not making these products up. They go, well, it was keto pancakes and it was satiety chips and this and that whole thing.
Like the number 7.
It's still carbohydrates.
But I love that you made it fancy with your pronunciation. I'm dying.
I fuck up everything.
Don't say that on the air. People are going to freak out.
I'm dying over here, Anna. Give me a break.
Well, we're all dying. We're either living or we're dying, Vin.
I'm not dying yet. Yeah, I'm good. Now I gotta look up that song.
Well,
I
told you this off the air. I might as well say it on the air. I tried to have a little bit of a moment with a woman who came by. I learn all kinds of things being out at the grocery store sampling sauces to the people. And something that you and I almost never talk about because it's not something that, in fact, we're the opposite in the NSNG community. We're trying to have more salt. Right. I take one of your ultra salts every single morning. I guzzle a glass of water and one of your ultra salts every morning to start my day. And I'll take it whenever, if I have a headache, I take it before bed. Good. I take it with my magnesium. I love salt. I know. So, but a lot of people are out here at the grocery store saying, what's the sodium count? And I had never thought about it until 2 years ago when I started demoing. And I looked, and it's 260 milligrams in a half a cup. Yeah, is what it says on our nutritional label, which is generated by my co-man. I didn't calculate that.
Right.
But I do know we use, we used to use Redmond's, but now we use a regular, really nice sea salt, and just enough to give it the flavor. And it's, as you've tasted it, it's good. Well, I didn't even I've never thought about sodium. Did never cross my mind.
Please.
Well, when I pick up the Rayo's marinara, it has 400 and some. So we have less than, we have about half. There's 480 or 2, well, maybe 60% of the sodium, right? That Rayo's has. And a lot of people, especially older folks, will say, what's the sodium? And they need to see it. And then they say, well, what's the sodium? But they want to try the puttanesca. And I will say, this is higher in sodium because we put the brine from the capers. There's capers, olives, and caper brine in there. So it's saltier. It has that salty umami flavor profile. And it's always funny when people are like, I want to try that, but I can't have sodium. And I go, okay, well then don't do that one, but you could have this one and this one. And then they're like, no, I want that one. And they still insist on having it. I'm like, are you sure? You just said you didn't want to have sodium. And then they're like, no, I'll have it. And I'm like, okay, here you go. So this woman comes up, she needs a lower sodium. And I was like, well, we're 260. Rayo's is about 480. Take with that what you will. You're welcome to taste it. So she tastes it. And she goes, I usually buy Silver Palette. And I was like, great. I know Silver Palette has a low sodium and it's half of what it's 130. And, but if you look at the ingredients, it's got carrots, it's got pear juice concentrate, and it's got something else, but it says 0 grams of added sugar. And in my infinite wisdom, I was like, oh, cause she goes, what's the carb count in yours? And I said, it says it's 7 grams, but there's no added sugar. It's just the naturally occurring carbohydrates from the tomatoes. And she goes, wow, Silver Palette. And she goes and picks it up. She shows it to me. This one has 6 grams. And I was like, okay. So buy that one. I go, you should buy that one. What am I going to say? 1 gram, you know what I mean? What? And so I go, well, okay, listen, I'm going to just tell you something. It says look at the ingredients. It says there's pear juice concentrate. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's a form of sugar. And she goes, well, they don't have sugar in here. It says 0 added sugar.
But
okay.
Right,
that's
and then people will say, but it's natural sugar. All sugar is
chemicals
natural.
Because everything's a chemical. Yeah. We're made of chemicals. My skin is chemicals. My glasses are chemicals. We're all chemicals, technically. We're all molecules. It's natural.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I said, just so you know,
nuts when people go, no, it's not sugar. It's natural sugar.
On this podcast, the food companies can do, up to a 1 gram margin of error on anything, 2%. So it could say 0 grams of added sugar, but still
either way, it can be up or down.
Carrot puree and pear juice concentrate, knowing that that's sweetening what they're selling. And it's fine. Buy the Silver Palette. I don't care. But I don't know why I said that. And then she was like, well, it's really far down on the ingredient list, so there can't be that much in there. And I'm like, okay, you're right, ma'am. You're right. 1 gram less of carbs. Just go get that one.
Yeah,
it's
you
fine.
want to be right. Knock yourself out. Go buy that one. We live in
America. There's a choice. You can choose what you want. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Anna, I've been going in. They take my vitals every day. Uh-huh. And by the time I get there, I have at least 6.
And how's your blood pressure, Vin?
At least 6, because I've been going, mid afternoon. My blood pressure has been 115
good luck with all that salt. It'll kill you.
65, 110 over 58, 108, 108 over 53. And I got at least 6 ultra salts in me and tons of salts on my eggs that I'm having in the morning. So people go, oh, you eat salt, you high blood pressure. Prove it to me.
Isn't
how much
that
more
Gary
salt
Taubes
can I choke down? Before this blood pressure goes crazy.
The nutritional space is because he basically uncovered the bad science linking excess sodium intake to hypertension. Yeah. And then he was like, if they were wrong about that and that swept the nation, what else could they have been wrong about?
Yeah, you should remember
and then a little baby Gary Taubes was born.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Here we are. So anyway, going back to the grams and the carbs and the this and the that and the net carbs. It's crazy to me that they could be consuming that much extra carbs unknowingly.
Yeah. No, it's nuts. And you'll never convince people. And the words I hear coming out of people's mouths, it just drives me nuts.
No.
And I don't feel, I don't look at them as being ignorant.
Absolutely.
I look at what they've been hearing and what they've been sold
through
commercials and the internet and everything else for a million years.
You
can't blame them
after all that. I was like, you don't have to. It's okay. Yeah. Not everything's for everybody. I get it.
Yeah, she
Well, I hope so. I mean, I
she's
want it
going
to
to go
speak the
home
nation,
and
but it
taste
is
the
an
difference
interesting.
and go, wait a minute,
You
now I need
really
to
are
buy more
faced
of the
with
San
the,
Vocino.
people telling you their beliefs, and that's okay. What I was at a I was at a thing at Pavilions of
Yeah.
Marina Del Rey a couple weeks ago, and this one woman was stopping to tell me about how her aunt had reversed her pancreatic cancer with something. It was so obscure, I couldn't even remember what it was. And I was like, okay. And then this other lady walked up. I thought I was being punked because I was just setting up the table and all the hot pots. And I was like really busy. I thought because Bob Gralewski, shout out to Bob Gralewski, he set me up. He set his wife in to go like, what makes this better than Rayo? It was really funny. I was like, well, here's why it's better. And she was like, I'm kidding. I'm Bob's wife. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Y'all will set me up. And I appreciate that. And I like being set up. But this one woman, are we there?
Oh, Anna, you locked up there.
Okay.
She did some swearing.
So anyway, I've been set up before by our lovely listeners, and it's really funny getting a rise out of me. It works. Back. But this one lady, the second lady walks up and goes, did I overhear someone saying type 2 diabetes? It's like, I don't know.
Anna locked up again. Okay.
A woman came up and said, did I hear someone say type 2 diabetes? And I was like,
there you are, Anna.
Are we in the Groundling sketch? Like, what is happening right now? And the lady started debating, and this lady said that she reversed her type 2 diabetes by eating beans. And then this other lady was like, my grandma's cancer with the thing. And I would just let them talk it out. And they both bought a bunch of jars. So that's really the important thing. But people bring their beliefs to stuff, and we're just here giving out information, trying to help. But I like what you say about Mitch. I'm going to ask a related question, okay, from Josh. So I like what you said about Mitch because it leads me to this other question. If someone VT's age, Vinnie Tortorich's age, eats a whole food, very low carb diet for 7+ years with 0 sugars, grains, or seed oils, but still has some joint inflammation, hips mostly, some knees, should he experiment with giving up eggs, Greek yogurt, and goat cheese that constitute his only dairy, something else? This is Josh asking this question.
All right, someone my age, go back, because
it sounds like he's been very clean, but he still has joint inflammation.
All right, so
and I wanted you to answer this because, again, you're good at tweaking things for people, but also you have inflammation, you have pain that you have from old football injuries. So how do you handle it?
Read
it again. If someone VT's age eats a whole food, very low carb diet for 7+ years with 0 sugars, grains, or seed oils, but still has some joint inflammation, hips mostly, some knees, should he experiment with giving up eggs, Greek yogurt, and goat cheese that constitute his only dairy, something else?
No, because those aren't the problem anyway. I wouldn't give up eggs or, goat cheese or yogurt. I have some pain every day. A lot of injuries, played a lot of sports, a lot of years, everything from football, D1 football through college, mountain biking. I had a pro card at one time. There's a lot of tumbling around, a lot of rock climbing, a lot of arthritis, a lot of broken bones, a lot of wrecked joints. So I'm going to have some pain. Now, if I go off the reservation, it's Christmas time, I'm in England or Louisiana, and I eat like an idiot for a day, I just go off the reservation for a day, I start feeling that immediately.
Yes, with your
right?
squirrel.
I talked about being in a Red Lobster up in Ohio years ago. That I can remember. It was Ohio. I remember where I was, and I ate all of that seed oil crap and the whole thing. I was up at like 3:00 in the morning. I was inflamed. My ankles were swollen. I just got up, went down to the gym in the hotel, and it was one of those cheap hotels that had a couple of treadmills and stuff in the gym. I turned on the television monitor and just walked in the middle of the night until, I started moving around. It made me feel better. I was able to sleep a little bit and then, get up in the morning. Not a great night. It was a rough night. But then I learned from a fan, might have been the same fan we were just talking about. Robinson.
I think it was Davey.
Davey Robinson. He goes, hey, that's not real water. It was.
What am I thinking of? Swerve.
Yeah, it was Whirl.
Swerve is the sweetener. Whirl is the
WHIRL. It's a seed oil. Like Whirl, WHIRL is just a big thing of seed oil.
Dipping all
and
that.
I ingested a
crab
ton
legs
of it,
and
it really fucked me up.
Whirl.
I was dipping my
all of it.
Yeah. I was like, oh look,
yeah.
I got some of this left. I'm just dipping. I was starving and it fucked me up. Right. And, that's when I can feel real pain versus keeping it at bay. But to get rid of it at my age altogether, not going to happen. I don't even break. I'm going through, I got chemicals running through my body right now. I got poison in my body. The woman who puts the thing in me, she has to put a hazmat suit on to put it in my arm.
As much as seed oils
This is what's running through my veins as we speak. That doesn't fuck me up.
I would say if anybody's worried that a food is causing inflammation,
figure that
take
out.
A blood test.
Right?
There's plenty of food allergy. Everlywell makes. There's tons of companies that make these food allergy tests and see if what it will tell you is if you're having an immune or not autoimmune, an immune response to a certain food. But I would not give up. I mean, that's the cheaper way to do it. Give up the eggs, and then when you reintroduce them, if the pain goes away and you have it again. But that's the sad way to do it. It's effective. People do that, but why give up eggs unless you don't have to?
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to. It's healthy food. By the way, I'm a public service announcement. The avian flu is back.
Lauren just threw out his
cook
raw
your eggs
milk
all the way through.
He was very
don't do
excited
yolks
about.
And everything. Cook the yolks down. Don't just leave them run. You got to be careful with this stuff. So just public service announcement. The other public service announcement, and this is more of you need to do this. Go to eathappykitchen.com and get all of your stuff. Get your powders, get your sauces. I like to call them gravies.
Yeah,
get it
easy.
all. Because you saw what I put on Instagram the other night. A one-pot meal. It's a one-pot meal. And when Serena's gone, I could do that easily myself. It's, we did the pink crema, but usually I'll mix a pink crema and an arrabbiata. Right. And I like doing that because I have half of each jar, which means the next night I have to do something else with it. Stays in the fridge, and the next night I'll do the triple protein crime and just put everything in there and then pour the rest in there. I love the mixture of those two, the pink crema and the arrabbiata. It makes for a perfect sauce for me. So go check out everything at eathappykitchen.com.
If you pre-order it, save your receipt and go to eathappyitalian.com and upload it so you get the bonus. Everyone's making the bonus recipes.
Eat Happy. You want the bonus recipes? Get your
receipt.
Go over and you can do all that stuff. Where can they go? Right back to Eat Happy Kitchen?
Yeah.
So
Ever.
So go do all of that so that Anna's book can break at #1. The biggest book ever. You know what to do with me. Rate and review this podcast. We have the PDF. You guys want to go check out the Vinnie. What do we? Debbie hates when I call it the PDF. The NSNG ebook. Go to VinnieTortorich.com. NSNG ebook. Rate and review this podcast. Before you go to Amazon to buy Anna's books, go to VinnieTortorich.com. Click through that banner. It puts coal on the fire. Gets my train down the track. There are 2 songs that we're going to play here at the end. The first one is apropos as to what's happening right now. So on behalf of Anna Vocino, put life into living, and let's do it with a little Tim McGraw, a guy that grew up right down the street from me around